What's happening, people? Hope you're doing well. My name is Tom at FPL Wildy. This is my Game Week 4 preview video. Just a little bit on Game Week 3 before we go on. It's been like a week and a half, so I'm not going to stay here too long. I was on free hit last week, got 58 points, puts me to around 5 million in the world. I didn't get maximum upside, which I was hoping for. I mean, like my Forest players blanking, Kuna blanking. I went and Burma would have made a big difference. Dorgu not playing either. My big hitters hit in Haaland, João Pedro and Fernandes. They're all captaincy options. In the end, it didn't really make a difference. So yeah, a decent week. My team without the free hit would have done terrible anyway, so I think it's a decent use of the free hit chip, and it was my pre-season plan. So not much else to say apart from that. Start looking forward to next week now. Here is how I'm looking. 2 free transfers. Got Salah in for captaincy. And I've highlighted players in 3 colours. So obviously greens are the people got no problem with at the moment. Orange is people that I'm thinking of selling, and reds are my problems. Kind of need to come out my team ASAP. So straight away, double Villa. I don't want double Villa. Fixtures get really good now, and they've made good signings. So maybe like they turn for the better. I don't really want to be doubled up, especially I've got 60 million into Villa. It's a lot of money. Vert, he's in red. Am I being harsh? Probably. I did make this graphic at the start of the international break, and now I don't think he's as big as a problem as I thought he was. I don't think I can really sell ahead of Burnley, Everton, especially now Isak's in. So maybe Verts is the second best for minutes after Salah. So he's just going to stay in, but you know I would want him out if I was wildcarding, for example. Strand Larsen, we don't know yet, as well as Palmer. I don't know yet about injury news. I'm hoping they're not long term. I'm hoping to play at least one of them this week. I can bench one if I need to this week. I think Strand Larsen will be an option once he's fit and playing regularly. So he's an orange. I'm not really sure what to do with him. And Palmer, I don't want to sell just because he's going to be a hassle to get back in the team. But if he's ruled out for another week or two, I will probably sell him. And then Nico Williams, Murillo, yeah, I don't want double, especially after Ange Postecoglou is manager. I don't want double defence. So these are the players I'm looking to move on. Now, it's a bit of a headache what to do this week. I don't think I'm alone in that. Yeah, it's quite a difficult one. Before we move on to my team, these are the questions I've been asking myself, and these are questions you probably need to ask yourself as well. This isn't a video for definite answers to these questions, but this is just showing what I'm thinking about when I'm deciding my transfers and what to do with my team. So first of all, I need to decide if Cole Palmer is going to be a hold. I want to hold him long term, so I just need him to be training and in the mix to start this game week, and I can hold him, basically. I think I saw an image that went round yesterday. I think he's in training, but we couldn't see his face. We think it's his body. I imagine he'd be back, right? So I think Palmer is a hold. I could sell him, but it just seems like a hassle. Second question is João Pedro essential? Obviously, Delap's out long term. We don't have another striker after Jackson's gone. He started the season on fire. We won't have pens. He might if Palmer's not playing, but Palmer will be back. So let's assume he doesn't have pens. But still, 7.7 million. Is he essential? Like, if you compare him to like a Semenyo, there's 0.3 million in it. You'd rather João Pedro every day of the week, right? So when it comes to your mid-price attacker, do we want 3 up top and João Pedro is your mid-price attacker? Probably. He's definitely in my thinking. I don't know if I can go there. Essential is a strong word. It's probably not essential, but his EO is ridiculous. I mean, if he hauls for 2-3 more game weeks in the next 6, it's going to hurt. So yeah, you've got to think about how much you want João Pedro in your team. Third question, can I keep Verts and or invest in Liverpool? I don't think you really can if you're on wildcard or thinking of transfers, unless it's Hackpo. I think I can keep Verts. I don't really have the luxury. I've only got 2 free transfers. If I had 3 or 4, I probably would end up selling him. Maybe, or maybe next week. I don't know. I probably am keeping Verts. But I'm not going to invest in any other Liverpool. And then Triple Forest, is that okay? Probably not. No, probably not. So I'm looking to move on at least one Forest defender. So with all my future plans, I mean, I've been going over every possibility this international break. But I've always made sure I have a route. I have a route to these players in the future game weeks. So these are players who I may want in future game weeks. I'm kind of booking them in. I'm making sure they're doable. When the game week comes around, like, things can change. I might not want Bruno, but I want my moves to give me the flexibility to make these moves when it comes to it. So in game week 6, I've highlighted Haaland coming in. I want to swap Salah for Haaland. You see the fixtures on the screen. I want to captain Haaland for at least 2, if not all 3 of them fixtures from 6 to 8. And then when I sell Salah, obviously it's going to be midfielder, so I'm just going to pivot from Salah to Bruno, and my striker to Haaland. And obviously Bruno's fixtures are pretty good from 6 onwards. Only really Anfield he's got. Brentford's a decent time to come in. I get him in time for the Sunderland at home. This could be in Burmo, I don't know, but I'd want that route to Bruno. So with all the future moves, I'm making sure I've got money to do these moves in the weeks that I want them. Game week 7, I want to go to Gyökeres. Going to be the penalty taker. I'm 90% sure of that now. Actually, I'm a bit more than 90% sure. He's going to be a penalty taker. And 9 million as well. Like, a penalty taker, striker for the top 3 team for 9 mil. That's good value, right? Like, you'll see what else is on there. Like, he's going to be better than Isak this year. Isak's like 10.5, right? Surely he's better for points than Isak. And then game week 9, obviously 2 Chelsea attackers. This is either João Pedro or Parma, depending on what route you take. But I want to have a Chelsea triple up. I've got Sanchez in goal, so I want triple Chelsea by the time game week 9 comes around. For look at them fixtures, and I've gone up to game week 12 here because I'm playing up game week 13 wildcard. So I'm only interested into the fixtures up till game week 12. So it all comes down to this really. Excuse me. Do I hold Parma or sell Parma? And then once I figure that out, I know now what moves to make. So as of yet, it's Wednesday. There hasn't been a press conference. We don't know about Cole Palmer. I'm speculating and assuming he's going to be okay. But if something comes out and he's not, this will be my plan. After sell Palmer, I would sell him and Gu and buy Ndiaye and João Pedro for my 2-3 transfers. I mean, buying a 6.5 or less midfielder is quite tricky this week. I'm in an R and doing my research. There's about 4 options or so. It's more than 4 options actually. There's loads of options. Obviously there is Semenyo, but if I was to get Semenyo, it would then impact these players later down the line. I could not afford Semenyo unless I'm going to start taking hits. So Ndiaye would be my 6.5 million pick or less midfielder. This isn't really the video where I'm going to go into breaking all down the best midfielders. So I'm just going to swiftly move on. But Ndiaye would be my pick because on penalties, Everton are looking good and their creativity is from the left. That's given Ndiaye all the big chances. Yes, Grealish and Dewsbury Hall will get points, but penalty taker who's got the goal threat and the big chances is cheaper than Grealish. It's good for minutes. There is dibbling, but you know Ndiaye is going to be 80 minutes at least, surely, unless game state happens. So yeah, Ndiaye would be my pick, and then I get in João Pedro now. If I was to buy forward this week, I would go João Pedro before Mateta, especially with Palace's fitness issues and injuries. I would definitely trust João Pedro. He'd be one of my favourite buys as a striker option this week. So the pros of this option, because we've structured that 3-4-3. Obviously, if Shan Larson's not fit, just Anderson comes in off the bench. This is a potential bench boost in game week 5. Improves my bench as well, and I can get João Pedro now and cover that EO, as I'm not sure I want to keep suffering when he gets double digits. However, it doesn't mean selling Cole Palmer. He is the second best mid in the game still, surely. Like, you'd expect him to be second most points in the midfielder bracket at the end of the season. So yeah, it does mean selling Palmer. Does force a -4 if I want all of them future signings in the game weeks are highlighted. So yeah, selling Palmer is not ideal. It's going to be hard to get him back. It's going to force a hit for him or another person. And I also keep Triple Forest and Double Villa. So I do want to keep Palmer, but if something happens where I need to sell him, this would be my moves. So if I'm going to keep Palmer, I've got 2 options here. I've got a safe, and I would say I'm probably now at this stage 80% sure of making the 1-3 transfer. And then I got an aggressive -4 hit. When Saar was an option, I was a lot more likely to go for the -4 option, but I think Ndiaye compared to Saar sort of nerfs that option a little bit, and I'm not sure I want to be taking -4 hits, although there are pros to that option, so we'll go over that now. Let's go over my most likely scenario. I'm going to sell Williams and buy Senesi. So free up a little bit of funds. Doesn't give me 0.5 because Senesi's gone up now, so that's 0.4 extra in the bank. It allows me to get all my future signings in with a little bit of wiggle room. It improves my bench, so yeah, Senesi's coming in for Williams, but They're basically just I'm going to start with Senesi for a lot of game weeks coming up now, so it just gives me like a Murillo or Richards on the bench. It does improve my bench, which you'll see when I go for the future game weeks. Come off for Triple Forest, so get rid of Williams now. Andrews it in. You've got Arsenal, so I don't want to play either of my defenders, and then obviously I think it's Burnley and Sunderland coming up in 2 weeks. I think one Forest defender is fine. So keep Murillo. I could do Murillo to Munoz. I have money for that, but the extra money will come in handy from going to Senesi. And I just think Senesi, there's a world where he's the best pound for pound asset in the game. I think he's good for attacking returns. Bournemouth have impressed me. They look solid at the back. And he's really good for bonus. And his DCs have got it every game so far. So yeah, I want Senesi in my team. I'd recommend him as a buy this week. What are the cons of this strategy? Obviously, I still got pretty naff strikers, Strand Larson and Watkins. They're not the best. I'm missing the likes of João Pedro, Mateta, Haaland. So yeah, double Villa still, keeping Rodgers. And then, yeah, if I don't get João Pedro this game week, I'm going to have to wait till game week 9. So that is another 4 game weeks. What was that? 5 game weeks. 4 game weeks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 game weeks of not owning a like 70% owned asset. So yeah, that is a con. Obviously it could pay off, but I would want João Pedro ideally. And then this is my -4 option. It would mean selling Verts, because I need the funds to get to João Pedro. Sell Verts, Rodgers and Gui, and get Njai, King and João Pedro. So I can restructure to my favoured formation. At the moment in time, I would like 3 up front. There's not too many midfielder options. Potential bench boost in game week 5. King's got a good fixture. Obviously, all my defenders do. And then my Burnley boys have got Forest at home. I don't know if I would play it, but it gives me that option next game week. I can get all my sign-ins. I can solve the Gui problem because he's just going to tank in price, and I can't get another Chelsea asset. And I'm going to need one in game week 9 or thereabouts. So I can sort that out ASAP. Give myself another bench option because he is null void really, and he's taken up Chelsea spot, and he's just going to go down in price. Yeah, and we go back to that graphic at the start of the season when I highlighted people in red. I can get rid of 3 people circled red, so I don't really want Verts, Rodgers, or Gui, so get rid of all them. Cover João Pedro Zio, obviously. The cons of this, obviously, -4 hit. I told myself start of season I ain't taking hits, especially in single game weeks, unless there is a particular reason why. So I do want to avoid taking hits. It could pay off. I'm not sure it will. If I could buy Sarr instead of Njai, I'd be a lot more inclined, because I did want to cover Palace attack this game week. But I'm less worried now. Sarr's out. Only gives me Salah though for the next 2 Liverpool fixtures. But is Verts that much of an asset? I don't really know. That sort of one where it's a bit like that. Do I want Verts? Do I want not Verts? I don't know. And obviously it means I keep Triple Forest, which I do not want. So I would say I'm 80%, maybe even a bit more. I've not really thought about the -4 hit for a couple of days now. Of doing the buy Senesi route. So this is how each game week would look up until game week 9. So I'm going to start Senesi. You'll see I'm going to start him every week. Or at least at this point, if I'm predicting what I'm going to do. Obviously, I might not when the game week comes around. Excuse me. So we've got double Liverpool, obviously. So Senesi just comes straight in, and I bench Murillo. Let's hope Palmer and Strand Larson are fit. If one of them isn't going to play, then I'm kind of screwed. If one of them isn't, sorry, if both of them aren't going to play, I'm kind of screwed. I need to rethink the strategy. But if I can bench one of them, I'm quite happy just to play Murillo in a 4-4-2 this week. I don't really think there's much point, because I don't have the money to go Strand Larson to anyone that good, unless I'm taking a -4. And then Palmer, I don't really want to sell. It would be for NGI, but then it's a hard route to go back to Palmer. So if one of them's not going to play, then that's fine. But if 2 of them are, then I've got a problem. So this is how I'd look. Obviously, Captain Salah, give me 0.4 in the bank. Game week 5 comes around. I've got 2 free transfers, and I want to roll this week. Team looks good here. Got some good fixtures here. Obviously, Villa get a good fixture. Strand Larson should be playing by that point. Leeds at home. Play my Forest players, no problem. And then I have to think about if I want to start Richards over Gabriel or Senesi. Game week 6 now. This is what I'm saving my transfers for. This is the week we pivot to Haaland. So it'll be Salah, Marku, Verts out for Bruno, Haaland, and King. This leaves me 0.1 in the bank, but you know, I don't have to go to king. I can go to a 0.4, a 4.4, 4.3 million option if one pops up at that point. Just to save that money, I will do that. So it's like 0.2 in the bank if I don't go for king. So I'm hoping there's enough leeway. Like we'll see when the game week comes around. If I can't go Bruno in the end, I don't know. I'll think of something. But at the moment, should be able to make these moves. It looks like a good game week. You know, I've got Haaland captain. People will be in free hit, so I will lose points to the field there. But you know, I've got a couple Forest, got a Senesi. Bench is a bit weak, but yeah, I've got Haaland in. Rest of the team looks alright. Game week 7 comes around, and this is when I pencil in the Gyökeres move. I'm going to get rid of Watkins at this point and move to Gyökeres. Not much else to say. Team's looking fine. Starting Senesi again. He's got good fixtures here. He's going to play a lot for me. This is game week 8, so I want to roll this week. So when I go to Gyökeres, at the moment I've got none in the bank. So I'm going to have to monitor. I might have to wait a week somewhere down the line. Hopefully my picks do well and they go up in price a little bit so I can sell them for a bit more. But yeah, it might be a little bit tight on money. Game week 8 I'm going to roll, so I get 2 transfers for game week 9. So I have to keep Rodgers for ages. Let's just hope he can tick over like I hoped he would pre-season. He plays every minute, so he will get turns at some point, right? Yeah, I might lose points to Enjoy and the rest of them, but I don't think it's worth the -4. Probably have to captain Haaland again. Yeah, no problem there. In game week 9, so when I will go Haaland and King, whoever the midfielder is. Get my 3rd Chelsea in, and probably my 3rd Arsenal as well. So Saka and João Pedro will come straight in. And then it's pretty much no premiums until our wildcards. So I'll have $1 million in the bank. Could play around with the money. I want to get rid of Rodgers probably. Maybe upgrade Murillo, or I just start stacking some transfers up. Maybe Shan Larson needs to go out. I don't know. That's a few game weeks ahead, so I'm not worried too much about that now. But that's how I'm looking up until game week 9. They're my plans. Yeah, let me know what you think down below. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Kind of rushed out all in one take. I've been really tight for time this past couple of weeks. I wanted to get more videos out, but my hands were kind of tired. I would like to post my thoughts each game week. Really appreciate it if you tagged along. Yeah, so please follow me up top. I've got a TikTok account now, obviously YouTube and X, so please, I would appreciate if you could drop a follow to any other accounts down below. Wish you good luck for the game week. Probably going to go Senesi. I'm looking forward to owning Senesi. I think it's going to be a fun asset. Yeah, I think he's going to tick along. Looking forward to him. I don't think I'm going to go for the hit, and obviously we need to find out on Palmer and Strand Larson. Things could change. I'm going to post a team selection video on Thursday. Hopefully that is tomorrow if we get team news. I don't know, is it Saturday deadline today? So maybe there is room for Friday video. I don't know. I'm rambling now. I doubt anybody's listening. But I'll see you later. Have a good evening or morning, whatever. I'm definitely rambling. Bye.